All right. Welcome to Quarantine Second. My guest today is the one and only Sam Rager, host of Cave Open Mic every first, second, third Sunday at the Cave Costa, and who has a great album that came out last year, Trigger Warning, which got accepted onto Sirius XM.
Yay, thank you. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, I am too. I love listening to Sirius comedy channels. It'll be awesome when I hear your jokes on my comedy.
Hopefully they'll be played. My luck, anyone creating the playlist will be like, nah, we're good to pass this.
I don't know. Your album is really funny. It was probably one of my favorite comedy albums of the last year.
Oh, that means a lot to me. So thank you.
And it was, I think, listening to it was the first time I heard your full set for the first time. Like, I saw you like in 10, 15-minute increments, and then it was really cool to see how you put it all together into one coherent hour or 50 plus minutes.
Yeah, it's so hard because like a lot of those jokes I had never told like in that order, because doing like a lot of smaller sets here and there, you end up like placing jokes so differently than when you do a longer set.
Yeah, it's weird. I think the longest I've done is 30 minutes, and it didn't go as well as I wanted it to go. It kind of went like, all right, I might not be ready for this yet.
No, I think we're our own toughest critics though. Like I think no matter like what we do, if it's our first time doing it, we're gonna be like, oh, it could have gone better. And the people who are like, I did so great. I don't. They're few and far between, and they normally don't last very long.
I remember I was at an open mic, and a first timer went up, and he came up to us because he was in the same table we were, and he was like, "Man, I just killed." And I'm just thinking to myself, I don't think so. None of us laughed. No one in here laughed, except for maybe that table of one person.
Man, I wonder what it feels like to have that confidence, though. I would love that.
Early on, did you have that confidence, like at one of your first sets ever? Like, you brought all your friends and family there, and they laughed because they knew you.
I was always self-conscious about it. My friends and family came to my graduation show at Ridley's, and I have a tape of that set. It was terrible. It was so bad, Rob. I can see people like laughing with the jokes. I'm like, why are you encouraging that? Like, don't. You all should be shaming me right now.
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling. I went and watched my first Ridley's graduation show, and I'm like, why did I think I was funny?
One of the first mics I did after my graduation show was New Way. So any confidence that I had from that first set completely disappeared. And then it's been gone ever since.
What are you talking about? I mean, every time we've been on maybe a dozen or more shows, not open mics together, and I've always seen you kill on those shows.
I never think I kill. I think I'm always in my head about I should be I'm apologizing for this webcam moving. I got like a separate one because the one on my camera sucks. So it keeps them wiggling. Anyways, yeah, I never feel like I kill and at any of these shows, and I try to act confident. I try to act confident on stage, but it's all an act. And then off stage, I think people think that I'm this confident person, and I'm such a letdown because I'm very like passive and meek. That you can see their expression change from like, yeah, this is gonna be a awesome person, to being like, what a buzzkill.
Well, I think we all have that persona that we project on stage. I mean, I'm sure when I go up, people think that I'm really cool, and when I come off, people think I'm just kind of cool.
No, they think you're really cool all the time.
Sweet. finally accomplished something. I think the only time we were on a show together, we were on a Adam Walsh show that took place outside, and I think we both kind of went up right. Either you went up first or I went up first, and I never realized that they just put the two darkest comedians on the show.
Oh man, I love it when they do that though, because I'm like, oh, we're about to take this crowd on a ride.
Oh man, do you think dark comedy is going to be, appreciated once we come out of this thing?
That's what I'm actually kind of scared about. I think that people, I don't think people are gonna want to hear what we have to say for a minute. I was doing like okay on Spotify, and then the more this goes into quarantine, like the more it's like dipping, because I don't think people want to hear about sad stuff when they're going through their own stuff.
Maybe. I mean, I would love to see how you, me, and Noah Chap just kind of translate once it's over, and that we go on the Happy Time comedy tour.
Yeah, I told myself, I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna write dark like a couple of years ago, and I just couldn't stick to it. Like my mind just automatically like goes there.
Mine too. Like I've been writing a lot of new stuff lately. I got laid off from work last week, and I've been writing about that. And some of it's happy, some of it's just really dark, and it ties into other jokes I do. And I'm like, am I going to want to tell this stuff once I'm able to?
Mm-hmm. I apologize for eating this. This is my one of the few times I get to treat myself. I think you should. I think that people are saying like, oh, don't talk about quarantine stuff. After quarantine, everyone's gonna be doing it. But I think there's like the specific stuff like getting laid off. Over 16 million people in America are laid off. They're gonna relate to that real hard.
Yes, as of today, I think it's now up to 18 million.
Yeah, they just released a jobs report today, so probably.
I'm sure Trump right now is just crying every Thursday when they release it.
I don't think he cares. I think his staffers probably are crying. We're like, no.
I think he is, because all he talked about were job numbers and the economy. And in the last month and a half, he lost both of those.
Yeah, all of that I read today, all of the job gains that we've had since the recession are gone.
Yep.
So I think that like specifically talking about being laid off, I think that's important too, because I think people can see the numbers and be like, oh, I'm not alone, but to hear it from an actual person.
And I think it all depends on the spin of it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, it was a very surreal moment getting laid off on Zoom.
What? Okay, yes, please talk about that. Oh, I want to hear about that.
I will do it at the first Cave open mic.
Yeah.
That'll be the place. That's usually where I release new material, is your open mic.
Yay, that makes me happy.
Because it's one of the few where you can actually see everybody, and if I could make you or Paul Pipitone laugh, I knew I might have something. So.
Yeah, I'm glad that like I get to see the evolution too of the jokes.
Yeah, I mean that's the best thing about open mics, and I was talking to Christina V yesterday about how much I hate going to open mics because they can be such a downer, and when you're specifically doing new stuff and you think you wrote the funniest joke ever, and all of a sudden somebody comes up to you and went, at least you tried something new. You're like, oh man, that's like worse than anything that could happen at any show.
When I go up, I sometimes get like the arms crossed, like glare, like why do you get booked on things and I don't? And it's like, because this isn't my A material. This is like trying to develop into A material.
I think you should brought up something interesting, because I think people want to get booked on shows before they're ready. And I know I was guilty of this as soon as I came on to, when I started doing comedy. I was like, put me on your show, put me on your show, put me on your show, without realizing I wasn't ready to be on anybody's show.
I think we all do that though. I think that's like natural. And I do think though that that's how like we all progress too, is that we take things and then we do them. And there's always going to be somebody who's like, this person's not ready for that or that. And I think that goes for like no matter like what level you get to. Like then when you start headlining, people are going to be like, they're not ready to headline. And yeah, I think we'll always encounter naysayers, and we'll always probably want to get to that next level, and that's how we'll be able to.
We all want to get to that next level, but at least in your first year, you think you're ready for everything. Like if Mark Ridley today said, Robert, you want a feature here? I'd be like, no, I am not ready for that. I'm not ready to do a 20, 30-minute set on your stage because I need 30 minutes of A material.
I think you could do it.
I don't know. Right now, I don't feel like I'm ready yet. But thank you. I appreciate that. So we're kind of talking about this before we started. How is the quarantine life treating you?
It's been, I'm very blessed that comedy, I was able to pay like about like a third of my bills each month just from comedy. And so when that for like the next 3 months was like 3 months worth of a third of my bills being paid for, it was like out the window. And then a lot of teachers, since teachers were like laid off, came back on the teaching or the tutoring platform that I'm also on. So I'm able to still tutor, but my hours for that got like cut in half. Yeah, and I have like still a semi income, and I got a job at like a big chain grocery store for a little bit, and then I also quit because I was like, I'm just it wasn't worth the risk in my opinion to have both management and customers be like extremely rude and salty. But then I found some extra like freelancing clients. It doesn't like pay great, but it helps with the income, and it helps keep me busy.
Right.
I've been watching a lot of Walking Dead. That helps.
Out of all the shows out there, why are you watching The Walking Dead?
I think I wanted something that I could zone out at minutes, but like also be like, oh well, we're not like that right now, though, right?
You ever watch that show and realize, I'm probably dead?
Yes, I like want to think that I'd survive, but I'm like, no, I'd be gone season 1.
No, I'd be gone before episode 1. I would be the worst zombie ever. Because my shoes would probably be untied and I'd probably keep on tripping. and trying to move on my belly, trying to wade to the rest of the zombie. That's not
it's such a guilty pleasure. And I wish I lived in Atlanta so I could like be an extra on it. That would be such a fun just to be a zombie that they would kill. I think that the show creators hate romance too, because anytime any one of those characters get in a relationship on the show, it's a death sentence for one of the people in that couple, like within a season. Like,
I don't know, Rick and I can't remember her name now, Michonne or
Rick and Michonne.
They were in a relationship for several seasons.
Yeah,
Maggie
and Glenn.
Yeah, they were in a relationship.
Yeah, for a while until we both know what happened there.
Poor Glenn. And Negan, he's in a relationship with everybody. Kind of. He's like the coolest character.
I had a big crush on Jeffrey Dean Morgan when he was on Supernatural.
What about when he was on Gilmore Girls?
Wait, he was on Gilmore Girls?
Yeah, I think he played Laurel's. No, he didn't. He was not. I take it back. He was not on Gilmore Girls.
Sam, the guy who plays Jared Padalecki on Supernatural, he plays Sam. He was on Gilmore Girls.
Yes, and I've just ruined my rep. I'm a big fan of the Gilmore Girls. I wanted to live in that city and hang out at Luke's.
It looks cool. Like I would watch it with my friends who were like a couple of years ahead of me, like in high school. They were all like into it. I think I'm like just a couple of years behind.
I dated a girl and she watched it, and I didn't want to watch it, but then I loved it more than I loved her. Yeah.
Did you? Who did you think was like a cooler character, Lorelai or Rory?
I think Lorelai she would drive me crazy if I knew her because she was, too much of a free spirit. I liked Rory because she was so, orderly. But who was her mean friend from boarding school?
I'm not sure about that.
That was one I had a crush on. She's also on the show How to Get Away with Murder, which I've never actually seen, but when I was watching the Gilmore Girls reunion they did a couple years ago, you saw that, right?
No, the seasons on Netflix.
Yeah.
I know. I wanted to. I wish I would have gotten. It just reminds me so much of youth that I'm like I can't, or else I will have like I'll be reminded that I didn't do as much with my adulthood that I wanted to when I was the age when this first came out.
Come on, you can't compare yourself to Rory because she was like Little Miss Perfect. She got into every school. She had the perfect life, even though sometimes she had teen angst. Yeah. You can't compare yourself to her because otherwise you would just go crazy. I am thankful there's been no male TV character of that perfection on a show that I've watched.
I'm happy that they're making like more TV shows where the leads have character flaws, like more practical character flaws.
I agree. I agree. It brings a little bit more realism to television, even if the show is kind of fantastical.
Mm-hmm.
What else are you watching besides Walking Dead?
I have been. I tried watching Pen 15 because I heard good things about it, and I couldn't get into it.
That's the Hulu show, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday I marathoned through What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, I love that! I heard it's back.
All the episodes are on Hulu.
Or the new season? They're all on Hulu, or?
First and new season. First and second. Because Hulu owns FX. It's all owned by Disney, so they're just putting all the stuff on there like the next day.
I loved season 1 so much. I love the movie a lot too.
I love the movie. I didn't realize the characters from the movie made an appearance on the show.
Yeah, when they were having that trial scene, I'm like, yes.
How the hell were they in the council? Because they are just fuck ups as well.
Yeah, I have no idea. Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm so happy. And I was skeptical about how I would like the TV show just because the movie was so good, but I think they made it translate really well.
Yeah, they did, and I'm glad they made it different characters.
Mm-hmm. Same. If it had been different actors playing those characters,
the show would suck.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, what are your goals for comedy once all this is over?
To hopefully write more. I've barely been writing during quarantine. I want to write more, and then I wanted to travel more this year. Like this year is supposed to be my big traveling year, but even once like we reopen, I have a feeling that if this comes back in the fall or winter, no traveling will be had.
No, I agree, and I think comedy shows are going to be a very rare thing until some point next year.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
I mean, summer we get to come out for a little bit.
fingers crossed, because that'd be cool to try out new material. And if I actually like force myself to write in the fall and winter, maybe I can have like a another like solid longer set. I feel bad. Like I feel like I was booked to feature and headline some shows right after I made the album, and I'm like, this is gonna be the same jokes that were on the album because that's how I've been practicing. I feel bad if like you wanted new stuff. um
Well, let's go to you kind of went on a tour last year, didn't you?
mhm.
You traveled to quite a few cities. Was it with Keith Bergman?
No, that was by myself.
Okay. Now, what was the reaction like on the shows that you did out of state, and where did you go? What was the best one?
I went to Lincoln, Nebraska. I stopped by Minneapolis because I wanted to do the Acme open mic, and then I hit up Marquette, Madison, Wisconsin, Cincinnati, Ohio, and Dayton, Ohio. Uh,
How was Dayton?
it was really good. I had a blast, and it was like a shorter set because it was for like a festival, and I was able to do all new material, and it went well. Like the crowd was ready to laugh for everyone.
Those are the best shows, where the crowd is just there for comedy and not like some of the bar shows where the TVs are on and there's the disinterested people sitting at the bar and
Yeah, it's so important. I think like when places like are like, oh, we need to make an atmosphere in order to get people to laugh more. Mhm.
what is your advice for new comics?
Um, to keep on showing up. Don't quit. You may need to take like a break to get some things sorted out emotionally or mentally, but just keep on showing up, and opportunities will come your way. I'm a big believer and there's room at the table for everyone. So even if I know a show won't won't be a good fit for me, I think it could be a good fit for somebody else. Or like I get it when I'm not picked for something. Opportunities will come to the right people at the right time. So yeah, keep on showing up. Don't listen to naysayers. There are a lot of people who will try to act as like gatekeepers and be like, no, you shouldn't be doing this. And it's like, keep on doing you. In
Oh,
terms
okay.
of like going forward and like people being like, no, you shouldn't feature now or you shouldn't headline now. And it's like, you can only get better at something if you do something to get better at it.
I think when you can progress to doing longer sets, keep on doing them, but make sure when you're on those shows, you're doing your best material just to
Yeah.
impress, to get a good rise out of the audience. Like, do you know Elena Blanfield? She's a
Yeah.
Lance comic. I saw her several months ago at On the Rocks for the first time, and for someone who's been doing comedy for as short as she has, I thought her set was awesome. To where I booked her like right away, and one of her friends as well. And when she came into my room, she freaking destroyed. And it scares me, and yet that someone who's been doing it for such a short period of time can be so freaking good and make it look so easy. And again, I can't wait to see where she is a year from now, 2 years from now, because she is just going to keep on getting better.
Yeah. I think that's my favorite part of like going to like open mics or showcases is seeing new comics. Like although I don't book my own rooms, like I get asked for like lists for recommendations, and I get so excited when I'm like, oh, I have another name to like add to that list.
Oh, definitely, definitely. I'm sorry. One other person who I enjoy seeing in your room, Mike Boone,
Oh yes,
just keeps on
love
getting better.
Mike Boone is so hilarious. Oh my gosh. And such a sweetheart too.
He is such a nice guy. Such a nice guy. In your whole comedy career, what has been the worst moment?
Hmm. Like the worst moment. Anytime anytime somebody is like very forward, or like was very forward, in an inappropriate manner, towards like myself or friends of mine. Yeah, there's a lot of rough stories out there, and it sucks. And I am very grateful that I haven't had to deal with some of that in a bit for towards myself. But like when it happens to friends, which it still does, like there's still every so often I hear of a new thing happening, and it's frustrating because this is like news spreads like wildfire in comedy, and it's like why if not for your own moral compass, and it's mostly dudes that I hear about doing it. I
We're stupid. Not that I've done anything, but there's a certain level of stupidity among all of us.
Yeah, so it's anytime like yeah, I've had to deal with that. Yeah, I'm such a non-confrontational person that it like causes my stomach to churn. Yeah, and when you're new in comedy and that happens too, you're like, I can't say anything. Or else like I could get blacklisted from shows. So you're put in a really rough position.
Yeah, it's. Do you feel it's like a double standard in comedy of some sort?
Oh,
If
for
if you say something and maybe getting blackballed from shows.
yeah, I think for a very long time it was like that. I think up until the Me Too movement really like got some momentum behind it. It was like that in comedy. Yeah, especially for the newer comedians, like people who have had some presence in the community for longer, I think could say something and have be listened to. But that's why like a lot of predators don't go towards people who have been doing comedy for a while. And I think that's probably why I haven't really had to personally experience some of that for like a couple of years now. But yeah, I do see some newer comics like targeted, or I can see like that look in some creepers' eyes. Like I do think though that because of the Me Too movement, I think that more people are speaking out, and I think in our community we made it pretty clear in the Detroit scene that like we'll take we'll we'll take things more seriously.
Definitely, and like one thing I liked about your shows, when I think I was at the first cave that you hosted, which was a Super Bowl Sunday in 2018, which I was happy to I did not go home or talk to anybody about the Super Bowl, was that you have a rule that there are no jokes about rape allowed on your show, or
Mm-hmm.
I think that's great because I kind of carry that over into my show as well.
Yay,
Because
that's awesome.
I want the show to be a safe space for everybody who's on there.
Mm-hmm. That's
Because
super.
it worries me, like when I approach a comic to be on the show, I don't want them thinking that there's anything iffy about it. I'm like, look, this is for a show only. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Because
No.
there's some scuzziness that goes around where you think, yeah, there'll be some quid pro quo, and it's like, no, you can't do that on a comedy show because first of all, you want people to be on your show, and second of all, you want everybody to feel good about being on the show.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had like dudes try to like get physical. I've had like bookers try to run their hands up my leg. Um just like weird. I haven't gotten any pictures, which yay. I have gotten messages offering. But
That
no,
would,
I definitely.
that would actually be funny just to come on here and read them without saying who they are. And then jokes about it.
My favorite thing to do is like play dumb because like they would never come out and say directly what they were offering. They would like try to use uh like euphemisms and all that, and I would just like keep on being like, what, like this? Or like just
I think you have some new material right there. It could just be called "Fuzzy Thing Bookers Say." I think that's brilliant. So, what made you want to start doing comedy?
Um, I was going through like a rough breakup, and had I had made school and my relationship like my life. I didn't really have much outside of it. And my therapist recommended that I try stand up. And it took me like 6 months to actually try it, but it helped. It helped with going through the breakup because at the same time as the breakup, I was still struggling with self harm. And once I started doing stand up, um, I was like clean. I had I was like 4 years before I like relapsed again. Uh, and the day I relapsed, I was on my way to do a show for a room full of about 300 juggalos. Uh, which you know what, if that's your lifestyle, cool. But I was not given any warning about like an audience in full face paint at all. I like walked in and I was like, cool, this is what we're doing tonight. I feel bad for them as well because they had to deal with me and not the right mental state.
Were you the only comedian on the show?
No, there were 5 of us.
What was it like performing for Juggalos?
um it was they enjoyed some of my dirtier material. But then like I think that they were kind of annoyed. Like there was also like a live band that night, and I think that they wanted the band way more than they wanted comedy, which understandable.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I'm afraid of Juggalos. Not because they wear face paint, but it's because they like really shitty music.
I have not ever heard of I haven't listened to um any of the music, and I should because I feel like Michiganders, we should at least listen to like one song from it.
I've listened to one song, but I hate these guys on a personal level because there was a point where I lived in Ferndale in the late 90s, and they lived diagonally behind me, or one of them did, and they had this homemade skate ramp, and they never invited me over to hang out. So fuck that. Fuck them. Not that I skate or anything. I just wanted to hang out.
Yeah, I could understand that, wanting to be included.
Yeah, fuckers. So let's see. Well, how else can we get to know you? So I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions. What's your favorite Christina Aguilera song?
Ooh, come on over.
Okay. I don't know any of her songs except for Genie in a Bottle, so I will take that as an answer. Favorite movie of all time?
Bridget Jones's Diary.
Just the first one, not the other two?
I love all of them.
Would you say it's a complete trilogy?
Yeah, I'm happy with how they ended it. I
Yeah.
am, and I'm happy that they like revisited her like in her 40s. I hate like that a ton of rom-coms are like, I'm in my 20s and just because you haven't found love at 25, I'm never going to. And it's like, uh,
Did,
uh,
did you see that Rebel Wilson movie? I think it's called Isn't It Romantic? Where it's just
yes!
I,
Loved it.
I watched it on a plane. I didn't love it, but I thought it was kind of funny. I thought there were some really good moments in there that just destroyed rom-coms.
Yeah, it was very charming. And I liked that they did like make fun of all of the tropes that you do see as a like stringing through all of the romantic comedies.
Yeah, I thought I never really thought she'd be a good leading actress, but she actually held a movie together.
Yeah. She's very talented.
Yeah, I mean she has to be. She was in the Pitch Perfect trilogy.
I haven't seen the second two because they're not on streaming services, but I loved the first one. I have the DVD of the first one.
A couple weeks ago, got really high and watched all three of them in an afternoon.
Oh,
And
how are the other two?
they kind of, the first one you could see kind of is realistic. The second one kind of loses it, and the third one just goes an espionage subplot involving Rebel Wilson's dad.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I'd watch that.
cool. Yeah, there's a website called JustWatch.com, and I think you can find out where everything's streaming.
I want it because I do want to see the second two.
All right, let's see what else. Favorite TV show not called Walking Dead.
Ooh, Supernatural or Agents of Shield.
Really, I'm a huge comic book fan. Couldn't get into Agents of Shield.
Could you get into Agent Carter?
I watched the first season, and I because I liked the actress who played her, and I liked the character. Yeah, second season I never saw.
It's not like it's okay. Um, I love Haley Atwell as well. I think she's a good actress, and I'm happy that she got her own TV show. And I'm sad because like they canceled that one so that she could be a lawyer in this other show that only lasted one season. I don't even know if it made it a full season. I think it got cut in sweeps.
Huh, did not know that. I
Hmm.
just thought we put her in more movies because she's like a classy actress, which is how I
No,
view any British actress.
she's so good. I'm glad that they like cut it though because I'm happy that she got together with spoilers for anyone who didn't see the last Avengers. I'm happy that she got together with Captain America because in the TV show you could tell they were trying to like put her together with one of the other male leads and have that be who she ended up with. And because they never could finish the series, it was just up in the air.
I hate all the Avengers movies. I I hate. I think they're so long and boring. I think the only Marvel movies I liked were the Captain America films and the Spider-Man movies, and the first Iron Man.
Oh, I liked the first Iron Man too. Did you like any of the Guardians movies?
The first one, the second one, I thought was just basically the same movie.
Hmm. Yeah.
But I was excited about Black Widow. That actually looked good, but
Yeah.
won't be seeing that for a while.
I'm sad that that character is no more.
Maybe she's still alive.
Don't get my hopes up.
Come on, it's
I
Marvel. They can bring anybody back.
I am so excited for WandaVision. That's my
That
that's
looks amazing. I think I'll have to get Disney Plus back when that comes on. Let's see. Let's go. Where do you think comedy's going to go when all this is said and done?
um I think that In terms of payment, I think like a lot of people are gonna have to swallow some pride and probably take like there's some comics who I know get paid significantly more than I do who will probably have like more of an issue with it than I will because like a lot of bars had to close. They don't even have enough money to like keep their some staff members on, let alone pay comics. And then there's going to be some comedy clubs that don't even reopen their doors. So I think that a lot of us are going to have to do like a lot of unpaid shows or very low paid shows for a while until the economy picks back up, which could take like a year and a half.
People are comparing this like to the Great Depression or post 9/11 or even the Great Recession of 2008. I think this is something different because I'm hoping that a lot of the jobs will pick up once we're able to start hiring again and the economy starts, going forward. The only thing I think that should happen now, I mean, just to keep people sane, is there should be rent freezes for everybody, mortgage freezes for everybody, and pay what you can to keep like staff up and running. But I'm more worried about a new homeless crisis coming out of all this.
Yeah. I think that's a very real possibility. And it's ridiculous because some of these lenders do have like the financial capability to do the rent or mortgage freezes.
I think the government could order it.
Yeah, and should.
I know friends whose mortgage company is letting them take a couple months off on it, but I live in an apartment. I'm guessing you and your boyfriend live in an apartment as well, or a house.
A house. Well, he owned the house prior to us like getting together, so I was like, I can't afford
Yeah.
down payment on anything.
Know the feeling. All right. I really appreciate your time, Sam, but I end this by going into the wonderful world of Craigslist misconnections. And I have found a long one, that came out probably about a week ago. No, 5 days ago from Birmingham, Michigan, of all places. And I can tell the person who wrote this is very rich. Okay?
In spirit or in money?
In money, just based on some of the things he says on here. And I'm guessing it's a he. So I'm going to read it, and if you can crack a joke out of it or offer some humorous criticism of it, that would be great. Okay? So this one's called Looking for a Female Who Wants to Role Play. I'm looking for a sexy female aged 25 to 35 who might be interested in role playing with me. I'm a daring, fit, and attractive male aged 40 who has a hell of an imagination, and I want you to help make my fantasy a reality. Here's what I'm looking for. Female, age 25 to 35. Must be sexy. Think an Emma Stone type. Must be able to memorize the role play script. It's a 375-page script. The dialogue must be memorized word for word. Any deviation will ruin my masterpiece. Must be able to sing. Pop style is preferred. A singing audition will be required. Must be able to dance. The music video portion requires some sweet dance moves. I will pay for a choreographer to help you master the moves. Must not be susceptible to seizures. There is a strobe light sequence that'll be used during the epic battle with an invading robot army. This is a pinnacle scene that leads to a pleasurable one, if you know what I mean. Karate experience is preferred. If not, I will pay for lessons so the fight sequence with the Ninja Dog Warriors looks authentic. If you're interested, please send me an email telling me why you might be interested. Thank you.
Oh, that has to be a joke. Like somebody has to be like, "This is hilarious." Because I can't. I mean, I don't want to kink shame, but I can't imagine that being like a real thing. I mean, especially you have such a great imagination that you can't picture anyone deviating from a script.
Kevin Smith doesn't want his actors ever deviating from a script. Though I think if they did, his movies might be better.
I didn't know that. He doesn't let the actors deviate from the script?
Nope, he does not do that. Improvisation is not allowed on his films.
Wild.
Which is also why he's a pretty shitty filmmaker.
Oh right. My gosh. What would you name that? What do you think the name would be of this movie?
Of this movie? I don't think it's a movie. I think this person is into the ultimate role-playing fantasy that has ninja dog warriors and strobe lights and singing. So I would call this Bollywood Wet Dream.
Bollywood Wet Dream? Yeah, singing and man's best friend.
And karate. Can't forget karate.
And karate. And this guy's sexual fantasy. So, 101 Damnations? All
right, I'm just going to I wrote that one and put it up there. That's been my newest hobby during this whole thing. I've been writing fake Craigslist misconnections just to get a reaction. All of them got reactions except for that one. I think I might have gone too far.
Because it's so wonderful that I'm like, this isn't, you can't find this real gold out there.
So I'm gonna pull that one and take my next one up there. But like most of them are so friggin' creepy.
The responses or the ones that you put out there?
No, the ones that are out there that I didn't write. Like, here's one. This is from I don't know who wrote this one, but I was talking about it with Nick Pizzuti when we recorded the other day. This one was called "You Used to Watch." I'd stand in front of the window with the lights on and finish all over it. You would watch from your car. Nice secluded spot for you to watch. I'll be doing it for a couple hours tonight. And all I'm thinking of is gross. It's just gross. It's like misconnections where every creepy dude goes on there and writes something. And I figured I'll go on there and write something that'll make people angry or laugh.
Do you think he'd do that if social distancing wasn't a thing? Or if he's doing that to be courteous of keeping the...
I just feel bad for when his mom has to come in and clean the window.
Yeah, cleaning supplies are flying off the shelves. Like, I haven't seen Windex out there.
Really? I saw a bunch of it the other day at Target.
Oh, maybe it's because I haven't been to a Target in a minute.
I have to go at least once a week because I have to go like to 4 stores to get everything now, like that I need for the week.
Oh, yeah. I get so defeated, and I'm like, well, I guess they don't have this, and then I go home.
The worst was toilet paper.
Yeah, we had a bulk pack before this happened, and it's been lasting us like this entire time. We have 4 rolls left though, so I'm nervous. I'm like, I hope they get restocked by the time we go through those.
Depot has it. Home
Depot?
Yeah, I had to go there this morning because when I woke up to go feed my cat, there were ants all over his dish. And fuck. And I had to go spray. Yeah. I noticed they had toilet paper, and I'm like, oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, only need our gloves. But Sam, this is great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Minutes of catching up and checking in. I'm glad that you and Santiago are doing okay, that you're still alive, that there's a smile on your face, and I hope to see you sooner than later.
Thank you. Ditto. Thank you for having me on. I had fun.
Yeah. Tomorrow we have a great guest on the show. From Lansing, we have Nicole Melnick. I don't know if you're familiar with her.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's a great comic.
She is hilarious, and I feel bad because every time I've had her booked on a show that month has been canceled. Like she was booked in Adrian, and then we had a blizzard, and then she was booked for last month in the comic shop, and she, of course, this all went down. Yeah, so I want to book her, but I might make it a last minute thing. So that get canceled. No, I think she's hilarious, and she has a great energy. So she's
Yeah.
Yeah, like I met her at Max, the first and only time I did it. Had a killer set, and this crazy girl just high-fived me, and I'm like, I don't know if you're funny yet, but I think you are. And then I watched her set, and I thought she was hilarious.
Yeah. No, I've only seen her crush.
Yeah. And let's talk about it real quick. I think the female female comedians here in Detroit are so fucking good. Like,
Yes, and I love it. We have so many that are super talented, and I forget how much of a huge community of super talented female and like just powerhouses until I visit like other scenes, and I'm like, oh, you guys only have one? Y'all only have one lady comic?
yeah, I mean, we have so many. Like, I was going over like all the people headlining my shows for the throughout the summer. I realized, and this was just pure coincidence. I had female headliners every month, and I was
That's
like,
huge. Thank you, Robert.
I mean, you want the best people, and I'm a fan of comedy, and it doesn't matter, who you are, or gender, binary, whatever. As long as you're funny, and we have so many funny comics here, and it's good just to go to the shows and be able to watch everyone. But I think the female comedy renaissance here in Detroit is so good, and
Mm-hmm.
you're on the forefront of that, and I'm happy to know you. So.
Oh, thank you. I'm just happy to be a part of such an awesome community.
Yeah, it's great, and I think it's just going to keep on growing.
Mm-hmm.
Back. All right. Well, thank you very much. I will see you sooner than later. Hopefully, June. Maybe
Yeah,
June?
yeah, it will be June, Robert.
Or do you guys have a garage? We just do a show in your garage. Invite like 5 people as the audience, 5 comics. Boom, done.
The social distancing show.
Yeah. Better than the online open mics. I don't know if you've done any of those, but
No, I've wanted to try though.
one night I did a bunch of them, and then my Zoom got hacked.
What? Your Zoom got hacked?
Yeah, I got an email saying, "Oh, your Zoom, we changed your email address at your request." I'm like, "Well, I never requested that." Then they charged like God knows some money onto my account. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I heard like 500,000 people got hacked from it, but like I had yeah, you're the first person I knew personally.
Yep. It was weird. Like I teach an online advertising class, and I told my students we are moving over to Zoom, and one of them was like, I don't feel comfortable doing that. They've been having security issues. I'm like, nothing can happen. And then I was hacked. It was called karma for just saying that out loud.
Did you move it to Skype then?
We moved back to Skype. I think when you have like 5 people doing a class on Skype, it just gets bogged down pretty bad. Like I have everyone turn their video off, and but Zoom was made for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you so much. Again, June. We will try to make it June.
Yes.
See you guys tomorrow.
Take care.